Social media interest groups are inundated at various times of the season with questions about the status and distribution of a given bird species. In this case, the ruby-throated hummingbird. The questions are often about the timing of its migration and overwintering status, and are almost always easily answered using the bar chart feature in Cornell Laboratory of Ornithology's eBird.org Citizen Science Database interface. This tutorial is designed primarily to show you how to produce a line graph for whichever species of bird you wish to investigate and for any region or location. We're going to make the point using the ruby-throated hummingbird in Alachua County, Florida, because the ruby-throated hummingbird is in the peak of fall migration right now, and because I use these line graphs while having status and distribution conversations with customers in Wild Birds Unlimited every day, and I know that there is no other learning tool quite like eBird to broaden understanding about the birds in your own backyard. First, point your web browser to ebird.org, that's ebird.org, and click Explore on the navigation bar near the top of the page. Then click Bar Charts from the options below. Now you will have to choose a location. For most of us, United States will be pre-populated in the first flyout window. I'm going to scroll down until I find Florida. When I click Florida, a few options will open up to the right, including counties in Florida. Select the radio button Counties in Florida and then Continue at the bottom of the page. I'm going to choose Alachua and click Continue. Note that you can choose up to 15 counties from which to pull data for your chart. This is particularly helpful if you are in a county where there is not enough data to produce smooth line graphs that aren't ragged looking, but because Alachua County is data rich, I am only going to select Alachua County and click Continue. The result is a list of all the species of bird ever recorded in Alachua County and an accompanying bar chart for each, graphically demonstrating abundance in each month for a year. You can either scroll down to Ruby-throated Hummingbird or use the Windows search shortcut Control F and enter a keyword like hummingbird. Press Enter and Windows will take you right to the first result. Results are grouped phylogenetically, so spend some time in the bar charts familiarizing yourself with other hummingbird species that are on the list that you just produced. Note that not all hummingbird species have the word hummingbird in their name, so depending on the area for which you are producing charts, it might take a little more investigation to get it all sorted. In Alachua County, Florida, however, there have been 6 species of hummingbird recorded, and each of them does have the word hummingbird in its name. As an extreme example to the contrary, Colombia has just over 150 species of hummingbird, but only 25 or so have the word hummingbird in their name. Next, click on the line graph icon to the right of Ruby-throated Hummingbird and to the left of the bar chart, and the result will be the annual historical frequency line graph for Ruby-throated Hummingbird in Alachua County. Now you can begin to investigate the status and distribution of the Ruby-throated Hummingbird over the course of an entire year. I have interpreted various points of interest for this entire graph on our store website, but in the interest of time and because of the effect that subtropical storms have on the status and distribution of birds during migration, I want to bring your attention to the little shoulder on this line graph corresponding to the first 2 weeks in September. This little hitch in the data is an increase to the average frequency caused by spikes within a season when subtropical storms cause a bottleneck in migration as birds stack up in the peninsula. To see one of these spikes within a season, click on Change Date in the Date Range Attributes section near the top of the page. For a particularly active storm season with a large associated bottleneck in migration, change the range of years to include 2017 only, when Hurricanes Irma, Maria, and Nate all affected migration in the Antilles and the Gulf of Mexico. The large spike in early September is attributable mainly to Hurricane Irma. The small spike in early October is attributable mainly to Hurricane Nate, with Maria affecting most of those dates in between. I will reset the date range to represent all of the data, and then we'll move over to the Change Species button, also near the top of the page, to demonstrate one final point about the value of these line graphs in understanding the status and distribution of hummingbirds in Alachua County, Florida. Do you recall from the total list of avifauna for Alachua County that there were 5 other species of hummingbird which have been recorded here? With this feature, we can see line graph data for a maximum of 5 species. I will now add 3 of those 5 species to the graph of ruby-throated hummingbirds so that we can compare status and distribution of multiple species in the same graph. Those species are rufous hummingbird, black-chinned hummingbird, and calliope hummingbird. I have chosen to omit Allen's hummingbird because it has only occurred once in the county, and buff-bellied hummingbird because it has only occurred twice in the county. Calliope hummingbird has only been recorded in the county 4 times, but 3 of those 4 instances involved a great many individual reports from dozens and dozens of birders. To put a final touch on bringing the significance of this multi-species graph to light, I will now open the date range feature back up and adjust the dates to include only those data in the time of year considered to be outside of the migration season and breeding season, namely November through February. And when I do, eBird rescales the values on the y-axis since the frequency of ruby-throated hummingbird observations is no longer flattening the data of the other species towards the x-axis. And now you are able to literally see the reasons that hummingbird experts tell you that it is never time to put your hummingbird feeder away. The frequency varies from season to season, and the total number of species varies from winter to winter, but there are always birds to see, at least in Alachua County. Now you know exactly how to determine the degree to which that is true for you, no matter where you live. If you happen to be in a place where there is never any species of hummingbird, you can still have some fun investigating eBird.